So like I said, we'll try to remake Flappy Bird and as fast as possible, and I will try to explain uh, in detail as much as possible. So I made an empty project which is 2D, and let me show you something first. When you create a project in Unity, it asks you to select a template here. Okay.
Okay.
So here you decide what kind of game you want to make. Um, so in 2D, for example, you have the built-in render pipeline, and
Uh-huh.
the only difference between that and Universal is that in Universal you have lighting. Okay, in the other one you don't have that. Um, and for 3D, the difference is in graphics only. The graphics are better quality from one template to another. Uh, so I made a project before, and because it takes a long time to make. So that's how an empty project looks like. And
All right.
and
Let me
yeah,
sorry.
no problem.
I'm gonna open Unity up on my no, my computer here. Um, okay.
Yes, but you will not be able to replicate this because you need the assets.
All right, gotcha.
So
Okay, so I won't even be able to.
if you want, I can, if you'd like, I can send you the project later, and you can load it on your PC afterwards, if you
All
want.
right.
But that will require that you have the same version of Unity that I have, which is you see this on top.
Unity
And,
6.
yeah, you need the exact version. Let me type that for you in a DM in the DM, because you need the exact one. So that's the one. Because you can
Okay.
have multiple versions of Unity at the same time. Um, okay, so can I continue?
Yeah. Go ahead, man.
So that's
Oh,
how an empty project looks like. But when you open it on your PC, the only difference will be that the panels, so the scene panel, game panel, hierarchy, this will be arranged in a different order. Okay, and if you want to move them around, just click like that, and you can move them anywhere you see, like that. For example, you can just
okay.
drag them around. Um, so I organized the folders here. So I have a folder for audio, prefab, scenes, scripts. So first of all, let's go to the uh, scenes here and rename our scene to game. We'll just rename it first. And we will create a background, but I just want to show you that you can modify the background here from the camera. And excuse me 1 second. Sorry about that. So
Yeah.
you can modify the background here. It says solid color, you see, and you can have whatever you like. But we'll create our own background here. So the first thing that I do when I make a game, I think about the elements of the game. So in this case, we have the player that jumps through the uh, platforms. So we need the player and the platforms. Um,
Okay.
so let's first actually create a background with an animated background. Okay, I'll just make a
All right.
square here and add textures that I have here. So background, and let's say we want I don't know, the green one. Okay, so we have that. Um, Now we have to go to these images, and these are the import settings of the images. And because we are working with pixel art, you see this says filter mode here, be linear.
Yeah.
So what this does is it it combines pixels to make the image look smoother, but this is pixel art and we want to see every pixel, so we set no filter here, point no filter. And now it will be, the image will be more clear. And we can add our sprite and set it in here to draw mode to style, because we want to repeat that texture. So now we change the size to something that will cover the whole screen, something like that. And I noticed that the texture, if I zoom in here, it's a bit too small. Maybe we should increase the size. So we just change the scale here, like that. And now another issue is that it doesn't cover the whole screen, so we have to increase that as well. Okay, so now we have this background. Let's rename it here, the inspector, to background. And we'll make a script for this background to create the illusion of that it is animated. Okay. And
Okay.
I'm sure there are other methods to do this, but this is the only one I know for this. So let's make a script here. So create mono behavior script. We'll just name it. Okay. Now we can add this to our game object, the background game object. So what we'll do is we will increase the width and height in such a way that it will appear that the background is moving, is animated.
Okay.
Because let me show you actually, if you increase the either the width or the height, it appears that it is moving. So you can look at the game panel now. If I go here and I just drag the width, you see, seems like it is moving.
Oh.
And we have three options here. One is we move it horizontally by increasing the width, vertically like this by increasing the height, or we can increase both and it will move diagonally. So let's do all of these and we'll decide afterwards which one we will use. So after you add this here, you have to click these three dots here and edit script to open it. This is my code editor, but you can use any code editor to open scripts. And but this comes with Unity usually.
Okay.
So now we have this script on the game object, and we need the sprite renderer from that object to increase the width and height. So here we'll make a variable of type sprite renderer, and it will be private because we don't need to use it in another script or see it. So now by writing this, we just create space in the memory for a variable of type sprite renderer. So in the start function, we need to place the sprite.
Wait.
Yes.
Sorry, Norma.
Yes.
You said by typing sprite renderer, it creates a space in the memory.
Yes, it creates a space in the memory for a variable of type sprite renderer.
What memory are you talking about?
The RAM memory.
All right, so anytime that you use okay. All right. Sorry, man.
So we need the sprite renderer to increase the width and the height. So we need to get that sprite renderer. So by writing this, we have an empty variable of type sprite renderer. So we need to place it in the variable now. So we say in the start function. So the start function will be at the start of the game. It happens once. We get it. So we say sprite renderer equal. Wait, I wrote that incorrectly. Right. Yeah. So we say it's equal to get component. So with this, you get any component. So a component is a property, basically. So now we placed the sprite renderer from our object inside the variable. So now we can use it. And in the update function, we want to have the option to have move it vertically, horizontally, and diagonally. So here we'll make a yes, a private, not private, sorry, public, because we need to modify it, integer, and we'll call it um, move type. Okay. So now in the update, let's say if move type is let's say 0, then let's say we move it horizontally. So in that case, oh, and also we need a move speed. So move speed. So we'll move it. We'll increase the or actually let's call it actually not move speed. Let's grow speed. Okay. Um, yes. So we
So you
only
can name it. So you can name it anything you want.
yes, yes, you can.
So you can actually name growth speed, height, velocity.
Yes, you can name it whatever you want. A variable, you can name it whatever you want. But
So the second word,
it needs to be suggestive. Okay,
okay.
so we need the speed to increase the size, and we need the type because we want to have three options: move it horizontally, vertically, or diagonally. So now let's say we let me comment this. So this is move horizontally. So here we just say sprite renderer. Let's see size. I don't know if it's size. Let me check that. Yes, it is size. Okay. So size and let's see. Can we modify just one? Plus equal grow speed. Let's see. It seems that is. So we can unfortunately we cannot select just one dimension of this. We have to modify the whole vector too because you see this is a vector 2 size. It has an x and a y. So the x is the height, the width, sorry, and the y is the height. So we have to modify the whole vector. So we'll say equal new vector 2. So make a vector 2 here with so basically
Okay.
it's a x and a
Let's
y
use
type.
that. Yeah.
So in this case, because we move it horizontally, we want to maintain the y and only modify the x. So we say for the x we say sprite render size x and then plus equal sorry, not plus equal, but just plus growth speed times time delta time. Okay.
Mhm.
So we maintain the x at the increase the size, and for the y we maintain it. So like
So
that.
how do you know what to put here whenever you put new vector 2? How do you know what to type there?
So this is the size, okay? Sprite renderer size. That's the size, which is a vector 2. So it has two values, x and y. So when I say new vector 2, we create a new vector 2, basically. So this here, the first one is the x, and the second one is the y. On the x, we maintain the x, but add the growth speed times time delta time. So the growth speed is a speed that we can change anytime, and we multiply it by time delta time because we want this growth to be independent from the frame rate. Because sometimes in games you might have lag, and in that case, uh, it will not be. It will have a different speed depending on the frame rate. Okay.
Mhm.
So because we move it horizontally, we add to the x and maintain the y. Now we'll say else if I don't know. Let's see, maybe just if it's one, uh, then let's comment here move vertically. So we'll just copy that line and adapt it a little bit. Just copy that. So in here we maintain the X this time, like that, and modify the Y the same way that we modify the X. So that's for vertical movement, and now for diagonally. So in this case, we add to both of them, the X and the Y. And I guess just because you can write it another way, but and now we have an issue, and the issue is that I faced this issue before. The background, when it gets too big, it gives you an error, and it will uh, the game will stop working because this image will get this sprite will get too big in size. So in that case, we need to reset the size to the normal one, the one, the initial one, when that happens. So before we move it here, we want to check if we reach the limit, which is 50, I think. So here we check if the sprite renderer size X it's bigger than 50. So 50f means just that is a float. It's a real number, not an integer. And
Okay.
so and these two lines here mean or. So we check if the X or the Y is bigger. And in that case, we reset it, the sprite renderer, to the initial size. So here I say if sprite is size limit, then we reset it. So we say sprite render size equal new equal to, and we just put the values that we have the same. Okay, so now we can test it. So you'll see that because we made those the moves, the growth speed and the move type public, we can see them here. You see in the inspector, and we can change them here. So I'd like to move it diagonally, so I'll just put 2 here in the move type. And with the growth speed, we have to test that and see. Let's see. Yep, you see,
Yep.
looks pretty good.
Yeah.
So now it's time to create the elements of our game, which are the player and the platforms. So start with the player, 2D sprite. Just make an empty sprite. Now we want to add our character here to the sprite. Let's see. Oh, we have a jump here. Yep.
Did you make that character right there?
No, no, these are from the internet.
Okay.
So we just add the, and we'll change it later if it's necessary. So you see, it does not appear in this scene because it's below the background. So we'll here in the ordering layer, we'll place it above the background. And now we have another issue, which is it's too small. So there are two ways to fix this one. You increase the size here in the transform, but let's do it in the import settings. We'll change the pixel per unit to the size of it, which is 32 pixels. And now we can see it. Let's rename it to Flare. Okay, I'll just press some empty. I'll press the square here to see that the player will move. So we'll make another script to create player. This. So the player will move to the right with a constant speed, and then we'll have the ability to jump on spacebar.
Okay.
So let's add the script to the object first. I'll just drag and drop it here, the inspector. Now edit script. Let's see the script. It's an empty script. So let's start with the move speed. Move speed. We have a move speed, and then we have a jump force, and public because we want to be able to change the values of this.
So let me ask you this. Uh, Jump Force, is this something that you came up with, or is it something that's built into the script editor as a, I don't
No, no,
know.
no. These are variables. You can name them whatever you want. See, I can name it like that. Doesn't matter.
All right. Okay.
So these are just variables that
So
we
the
create.
second word in that is capitalized. Does it have to be capitalized, or you do?
What do you mean, the float?
Yeah, whenever you put jump force, the word force is capitalized. Is that supposed to be capitalized,
Oh,
or
oh, no, no. I just write it like this because it's clear to read. That's the only reason.
okay? I got
Because
you.
if you keep them lowercase, it's sometimes hard to identify what
Yeah,
it means.
I can see that. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. What else do we need? Yes, we for this we need the rigid body. So we need to give this guy physics because we want gravity on it. So we'll just add a component here, rigid body 2D. We want to freeze the rotation. We don't want this guy to rotate, so I'll just freeze the rotation. Dynamic because we want gravity. Um, and that's it, I think. That's it. Now we can go in our script here and say private rigid body 2D because we need to get that rigid body. In the start function, we get it. We place it in the variable that we created. So we say rigid body equals get component rigid body 2D. So now we have that, and I'll use something here called void fixed update. So this is like update, but it's used when you have physics every frame. For some reason, I don't know the explanation, but we want to change the velocity every frame because if we just change it once, okay, so we want to move it towards the right side, uh, and we do it once, the gravity will stop the movement. So we have to do it every frame. So here we say rigid body linear velocity x equal to move speed. So every frame we change the velocity to that on the x, only the x of the velocity. And this is in the new Unity. Before you had to modify the whole vector to the linear velocity, but now you can just change one dimension of that. Okay, so that's for the movement, and for the jump we have to check for input in update. So we say if input get key down key code space. So if we press the space bar, want to jump. So let's say uh, yes, rigid body near velocity y equal jump force. Because we cannot add force to that because the gravity is too strong, and so basically by doing this, but by setting the velocity directly, not by adding force, uh, it will stop the gravity instantly and change the velocity instantly. Yeah, if you know what I mean. Uh, so that's it. Now we should be able to move the player. Let's see. Oh wait, first we have to change the move speed. Okay. So let's give it some speed and some jump force. See if that works. So now we should see this guy moving towards the side. Yep, you see it works.
Hmm.
But now we want the camera to move with the player, and also the background to move with the player. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll make the background and the camera children of the player. That way they will move with the player. So let's just drag those
Okay.
two on top inside of the player. Now they're children of the player. And also, let's make a visual effect when it jumps. Let's have some visual effect for that. And let me know how much time do we have.
Let's see. How much time do you have?
I don't know, like an hour.
Okay.
Okay, then. So I have here some effects that are also pixel. We have to change that to no filter here. And you see that I have this image with multiple sprites inside. So we have to split it into different images here. So we go to sprite editor, and automatically it does not work because you see, but if I do it automatically, these are different sizes. We want this to be the same size. So let's say we split them by the size of them. So it seems that it is 64 times 64. See, and now they're all equal. Now we need to find our effects here, the one that we want to use. Let me see. Yes. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So let's make a sprite here. We want this to be on top of the player. So the player is on layer 1. We place it on layer 2. And let's find our animation inside here. Yes.
Okay.
And also let's set the pixels per unit here to the size of each sprite, which is 64. Okay, so now we have this here, and we need to animate it. So every time the player jumps, we'll have this effect. So let's rename it to jump effect. Jump effect. And now we need to an animator component because we want to animate it. Also, I forgot to make a folder here for the animations. I'll just make it now. So create animator controller for the jump effect. Add it to our animator component, and now we can create our animation. So jump effect. And now we'll add our sprites here. So we'll just select all of them, drag and drop here. Now if I go here, you can see we have this here, but it's a bit too fast. So just something like that, I guess. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't want this to loop. Okay, we want this to happen once, this animation. So
Yeah.
now I click on the animation, and you see this here loop time. If we
Yeah.
uncheck this, it will just happen once. But also we want to destroy it once it's finished. The animation is finished. So in that case, uh, we'll need a script for that. So let's make a script for that. Call it
So you want to destroy it after, right?
yep. So jump. We'll just call it actually destroy object. And in 2D this is not that important, but in 3D, for example, if you have a very complex 3D effect, you don't want to keep it in the
Yeah.
scene to flood the memory. You want to remove it once it's finished. So now
Yeah.
we have this script here, and it will be very simple. We just make a function, a public function. So public void destroy this object, let's say, and here we just destroy this object. Destroy game object. So that means destroy the object that has this script. Um, And now you can place events on the animations. So we can go back to the animation window and create an event at the end of the animation. And we'll put that function there. So, animation, go here to the last frame, add event with this name. Yeah. You add the event and select the function that we created. Now we have that. So I'll make a folder here in the prefab folder. And now I'll just drag and drop that from the scene to the folder, and now we'll have this object saved as a prefab. And now we can delete it from the scene. So now let's spawn that object when we jump. So if we need to go to the player script and say public game object jump effect. Now here when we jump, we also spawn that effect. So instantiate means spawn, and then you have to specify what do you spawn. So we want to spawn that jump effect. Actually, let's call it prefab. The jump effect prefab. And then the second thing you have to specify is where you want it. We want it, actually we want it at the feet of the player. Okay, so we also need to say here public transform player transform. So we'll say transform that position. So, and this means this means here, so the last parameter here is the rotation. So that means no rotation. So 0, 0, 0 the rotation. So again, I'll explain it one more time. So instantiate means spawn. We spawn the jump effect at the player feet, and then with no rotation. So we need to find the player feet here. So we'll just make an empty object inside of the player, and now we'll drag it to the feet like that. Now we have that position. We rename it to feet. And we can drag it here into our script. And please stop me if you have questions.
Okay.
So I drag here the feet transform and the jump effect. Now when we jump, we should see that effect. Yep, you see.
So how does
Yeah, but I don't like the fact that actually, wait, let me try and place that. Yeah, it is the incorrect
oh
position.
yeah.
So we'll have to reposition that. So like that. Let's try that one more time. Yep, it's better now. Yep. Okay, it's time
So
to.
how
Yep.
so in the script editor,
Yes.
and when you put the instantiate uh code there, how does the program know um I don't understand how the program knows where it goes.
What do you mean?
Um so let's see.
Okay, let me. Okay, because we check for input every frame here, and then
Input for every frame? Okay.
so you see this update here. Whatever you put inside here, so this stuff happens every frame. So every frame
Okay.
we check if the space key is pressed, and if it is, then we apply the force to the player, and it's found that that effect. Actually, to make it simpler, let me comment everything here. So here we have the player stats. Here we have components and objects. So in the start function, get the body, place it in the variable, and here we check for space bar. Now, here we apply the force, jump force. Here we spawn the spawn. Yeah. Okay, and here we apply horizontal. Okay.
All right.
So now we have to create our platforms. We have different type of platforms, and I do have some nice graphics, but I'll
Yeah,
just use the square here, and I explain
I
a
got
second
you.
why. Because uh, suppose let's make an empty object. Okay. In the scene we'll call it platform one. Let's see. We want to keep this in the center. So wait, why is this? Yeah, there were some random values there. So once we have this in the center, um, let me just
Wants
disable
to
the
be
players.
brought up.
Let's just disable the player 1 second so we can see the platform. So let me choose what a pivot is. Okay. Um, so right now this square here, if I increase the scale on the Y, it extends it in both directions from the middle. But what if I wanted when I change the Y to change the height only in one direction? In that case, I'll just copy this square here and change the pivot here, if I can find it, of course. Wait, one second. I cannot find it.
Uh-oh.
What? Oh, yeah. For some reason, it is not here. So let me change that. Let me change this to two singles, right? Yes, that was the issue. These need to be singles. They're not multiple images. So I duplicated that image and I can change the pivot here from center to bottom, if you want, in this case. And now let me delete that one from the scene. In our platform here, we create a sprite. We can add our sprite here. We have an issue that it is below the background, so let's put it on top of the background. And also the size of it. So this is 500 pixels per unit. So now you'll see the difference. If I go to the scale here and I increase the Y, you see it moves only upwards, not you see what
Mm-hmm.
okay. So now I have to place this something like that at the bottom, and we can start creating our platforms. Oh, and we also have to duplicate that image one more time. Have it with the pivot on top. Duplicate that, that. So something like that. And unfortunately, this will take a while to do. Sorry about this. Let's say something like that. Now we can duplicate that platform and create some variations. So we'll create just for variation. not waste more time. But now the issue is this needs to, also needs to be playable.
Hmm.
So now we need to add colliders on this, or on each square here. So we'll just select all of them and add a box collider to D. And with this one, we want physics, I guess. Yeah, we want physics. Um, and this collider will stretch automatically to the size of this, I think. Yep, it stretches automatically. Don't have to do anything. Now we need to save all of these platforms, so I'll just make a folder here. Here, delete them from the scene. And now we have to make a new script called the game manager where we spawn these platforms and uh, where we uh, change the score and have the UI. But I forgot one thing, very important thing. We also need to have some colliders here in the gap uh, because um, when we pass that, we want to spawn a new platform. So let's make a sprite here, and we can disable it. Sorry, I have to do this for unfortunately. Sorry, I forgot about that. So this will have a collider that is trigger in this case, so no physics, because we only want to
Okay.
when we collide the player collides with it, we want to spawn a platform. We don't want it to interact physically. So
Right.
let's rename that to score collider because it will increase the score and also spawn on the platform. And we'll disable the sprite. We now have to see it. Now, unfortunately, we have to do this for each platform. Get to move as fast as possible. Ready to begin. Okay, so now I have this for each platform. So what was I was about to do? Yes, the game manager. So we'll just make an empty object here that will hold the game manager script. Oh, and let's have some platforms in the scene by default. So something like that. And that's to make it playable. 6.5. So let's say we have a 6 difference in distance between them. So this will be in the scene already. We start. Um, but also we want to delete the platforms that we don't need. Okay. So when these platforms reach the camera, the end of the camera view, we want to destroy those. Okay.
All right.
Wait. Oh, sorry, I did not hear you. I was my volume was low. Sorry. Did you ask anything?
No, I'm just watching you.
Okay. So we want to place a collider on the camera that will destroy these platforms. So when these platforms reach the left side of the camera view, we want to destroy them. So we'll go to the camera here and we'll add a collider inside there. So we'll make a 2D sprite square and here at the end of the camera. Now can increase that, cover the whole screen. Let's call it, put a collider on it. And this time it's a trigger, we don't care about the uh, physics, but I think we might need a rigid body. I'll just add one in case a static rigid body. And we want this byte to be invisible. We don't want to see it. But then we want to change the tag. So a tag here is a category that you can create for any object. So let's say first the name of the object. So this is the destroy platform collider. Let's give it the destroy platform collider tag also. So that will destroy the platforms that we don't need. And now let's create that game manager script. So one given game. So this script will spawn platforms and increase the score each time the player passes through. But I just realized that we have an issue here, which is let me just enable the sprite of the player. And the issue is the camera moves with the player horizontally also. Sorry, vertically, you see? We don't want that. We don't want that. So how do we fix it? Let's see if we can fix it with a rigid body. Dynamic, schematic. Yes. Let's see if I set it to position. So we freeze the Y position. Let's see if that works. If not, we'll have to make a script for this. For the camera zoom. No, it does not work with the rigid body. So we'll have to make instead of the camera being a child of the player, we'll have to make a script for that. So here let's make that. So camera movement script. So let's remove the camera from the player, and we need to also make sure that these are at the center when the game starts, both of them, the player and the camera. Okay, so let's add the camera's movement to our camera. And here we want to know where the player is at all times. So we'll make a public not vector 3, but transform, player transform. And every frame we want to move that camera to there. So transform only on the x-axis. So we say this transform position equal vector 3. On the x we want to be at the player x, so we say player transform x 0 and 0 also on the z. Here I made a mistake. It's player transform dot position. So transform the position property and then the x, so like a horizontal value. Okay, so now that we have this, we can add our transform to the script. So let's drag the player transform here. Also, for some reason, the game manager is a parent of the player, so I don't know how that happened. Okay, so let's add the game manager script to our game manager object. Now we have to save the last platform here. We need to save the x value of that. So let's do that. But first, let me show that the camera works now. So it will follow the player, but only on the x-axis.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't go up and down.
Oh wait, I made a mistake. Wait. Oh, I made a huge mistake actually. You see the camera has -10 here on the Z. I changed it to 0, so this needs to be -10 F of the Z. Okay, now it should work. So we should see it follow the player on the x-axis. Yes, you see? Works.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now we need in here to have a couple of things. So one is we need to have all the possible platforms. So we make an array of that. Game object array. Then we call it platform prefabs. Then we need to know the starting x. We need to know the x of the platform here in the scene. So let's say public float current x, and then make a function here for spawning platforms. So let's say public void spawn platform. So we spawn it. So let's also make here float platform distance. So the distance between the platforms. So in here we just say current x becomes plus. So we add the distance to that, and then we spawn at that position. So we start it, but we want to spawn a random one. So we have to create a random number between 0 and the length of that the length of those of that array. So we have to say, let's say integer random index, let's say random range 0 and the length of that array. So this will create a random number between 0 and the length of that. Now that we have that, we can spawn our platform. It, so we select it from the array, so the array, and then that random index. Then the position. The position is vector 3. On the x, we use the current x. And then on the y, it's 0, I think. And then on the z, it's 0 as well. That's the position. And the rotation is 0, 0, 0. So pattern. So this will spawn a platform. But let's make sure that these platforms have a tag, so we know that
Okay.
these are platforms. And also, not only that, but the collider in the gap of the platforms. We have to give that a tag as well. Let's go here, select each one by one. They should be platform, platforms, and also we want the uh, score collider. Make sure. Okay. Now we have the tag on each element here. Uh, I was thinking to add a script on the platforms to get destroyed by the um, collider from the camera, but we'll just place it on the collider on the camera. This one, the destroy platform collider. So let's make a script for that as well. Create or destroy platforms. And we have to be sure that we don't delete just those yellow parts. We want to destroy the whole object. So uh, let's open that script. And please, if you have questions, let me know.
Okay.
So this script will just destroy platforms on collision. So here we say, um, but wait 1 second, because we want this to have physics. So this here should be not triggered. So we have physics here. So on collision,
Okay.
enter 2D. So if I say this here, then whatever you put inside of this will happen on collision. So that means collision with physics. But we want to destroy that only if it's a platform. So we have to check if it is a platform. So we say if that collider that we collided with has the tag platform, then we destroy it. But we cannot destroy just that with a platform. We have to destroy the parent because those are children of a parent. So we have to say destroy collision. So that's the information about the collision. Then collider. So that means the thing that we collided with. And then we have to select the parent of that. So we say transform parent, and we want the game object. Okay. So let's see if that works. When we should see those platforms getting destroyed now. But let me actually, I should make this smaller. Do they get destroyed? No. Yes, they do not get destroyed, and the reason is you see this collider here um, is on the incorrect Z, I think. Okay, let's see. Platform. So these do have that. So if this is minus 10 and this is 10 relative to that, that means it should be on 0, but for some reason it does not interact with those transforms. Let's make sure these have physics enabled. Yep. Uh, well, it seems that we have to separate this from the camera as well. So I'll just separate it. And we'll make sure that this follows the camera. So then in here we also wanted the camera. So, or actually not even the camera. I think we can. Oh, 1 second. Sorry.
Yes, all right.
Okay. So let's use the player position. So player transform, player transform, and we'll do it the same way we did with the camera. So in the update function, we teleport it to the player. Void update, transform position equal 3. Then we want on the x the player transform x, but then we want to subtract because this does not need to be on top of the player. This needs to be at the end of the camera view, which is 0. So the player position minus this value here. Let's make it 9.5. 9.5 here. And on the y it's 0. And also on the z. Now this should follow the player as well. So I'll
Okay.
play the scene, but without maximizing the window so we can see it's getting destroyed. Oh, and also when the player reaches the top of the bottom. Oh, wait, yes, we have an error because we have to add the player transform to our script. Just like that there. And also you want the player to die when it reaches too big of a height or it hits the bottom. Let's see if this works. It still does not work, so it's not an issue with the position. It's another issue.
Okay.
Well, let me see.
Hmm.
That collider is the right size, so I'm not sure. Static, is that the issue? Let's see. I don't know. Still does not work. So let's make sure that this happens. So debug log region happen. So with this you can show messages.
Okay.
When in certain parts of the code. So let's say here collision happened, and here we say uh, platform destroyed. So we can see if this function happens or not,
Okay.
because it's a weird error, because it's not the position. I thought the position was the issue, but it's something else.
All right.
Yeah, so that doesn't happen
So
at
it's
all. You see.
yeah.
So let's see why that does not work. Right in the box. Okay. Maybe if I make it this one, the collider. What if I make it dynamic? Let's see. So I froze the position uh, and the rotation.
Okay,
Sorry,
gotcha.
this should not happen. Yeah, now it was. So apparently
Okay,
you need a dynamic rigid body on that. So now that this works, we can delete or not delete. We can comment these debugs. Uh, so now we can spawn on collision, but we need a couple of things here. We need first of all to connect the player script to the game manager script. So to do that, we go here in our player and we say public game manager. So you can see you can have variables that are scripts that you made. See? So I made the game manager. Now I can create a variable type that. Um, and now we need here to here when we spawn a new platform. That means we also add to our score here. So let's make a variable for that public score. Uh, by default, the start is 0. 0 no? And then here we add spawn a new platform. We add 1 to that. And in our player, when we collide with the score collider, so on trigger enter 2D, if we collided with the score collide, then we say game manager, and then wait, how did I call that? Spawn. Okay, spawn. So let's make sure first that these have the right tag. Yes, score collider. So now we should be able to see the platforms being spawned. Let's see. Nope, it does not work.
Hmm.
So let's see why that is. Uh, oh yes, of course, I'm stupid. This guy does not have a collider. The player. Let's make a box
Yeah,
collider 2D.
okay.
I guess this is good enough. And let's make it trigger so it does not interact with physically. And also, if this guy reaches a certain height or force, we must stop the game. Okay, now let's see if it works. Score collider is not defined. Yes, that is because
Hmm.
I wrote that incorrectly. So this is score collider. Okay, now we have another error, which is that this here um, it's out of range, and that is because we made that variable. So this array here of the with all the possible platforms, but we forgot to add them to this array. You see, this is an empty array we have to create. We have 4 platforms. Now we can just drag and drop these. Wait, oh, that's not okay. Wait, that is
What
not.
happened there?
I have no idea actually. Oh yes, yes, of course, yes. There are 2 mistakes. One is I forgot to place the current X. So that means the X of the last platform here. We have to copy that, place it here in our game manager. And also the distance between those, I think it's 6. Yes, this needs to be, we have to add those values. Yeah, now it works, you see. Yep, so now it's playable, but we need a couple of things. We need to add some score here, so to do that, we create a canvas here, uh, which is on top of everything, this canvas right now. But you can also place it in world space. So, for example, if you have want to place a health bar on top of a unit or something like that, you can use world space to place UI inside like sprites basically. So now always you must change this to from constant pixel size to scale with screen size so that the UI will stretch with the screen size on different resolutions. I usually set it to full HD like that. So now we can add, this should be very simple, we just need to add the text here. Asks me to import the text stuff. We just have a number here on top. And also we have to create the conditions for the when for the when the player dies. Then it's fully playable.
Okay.
Uh, what do you think until now? Do you think it's complicated? Or?
Yeah, it's very complicated. But I guess after you do it for so many times, or if you do it for, you've been doing it for 5 years, so or
Yeah, but
more
yeah,
probably.
yeah,
I don't
but
know.
does this make sense? Should I explain in more
It
detail?
makes sense in a general way, but not. There's. I think what confuses me is uh basically how the order the scripts are going and what the language is. I'm not sure. I think I would have to look into that more, to
Yeah,
read or
that
something.
that actually there is no other way. You have to practice it. When
Right.
when I started doing this, I was just moving some squares around, you know. So
You're moving
the,
what?
moving some squares. That's
Oh
all.
yeah, moving
When I
squares
started, yes, it takes a while to get good at this.
to move a square.
Yep, that was it.
Does it take a while to move squares?
Yeah, that's how I started.
I guess that's how I have to start, right?
Not necessarily. You might you might start with something a bit more complex because I can explain stuff to you. So we have this text here, And you see these arrows here, these are called anchors. So what these do is they make sure that the UI is in the same place and the same size on different resolutions. So if I take these and place them in the corners of the UI here of the text, then that means this text will always be there on top and always in the same size. So it will stretch with the screen size. So now that we have this, we can go to our game manager here and say public. Wait, I have to say using TM Pro. So this is the text. We'll call it score text. And then here, when we increase the score, we also want to update that. So we say it's equal to the score converted to string. So you see this score is an integer, a whole number. And then here we convert it to text. So you say score that to string, and that converts it to text. Let's do the update here. I don't know why we have an update. And for the player here, we on collision with the platforms, we want to destroy the player. And also uh, when it falls or reaches the top. So for that we have to see what that limit is.
Okay.
But I was thinking about this. Why don't we just add a colliders on the camera? Because the camera moves with the player. So let's go here to the camera instead. Make some colliders that will destroy the player. So let's say 2D square. Place it on top. So we have one on top, one on the bottom. Like that. Resize it. That covers the whole view. Let's add a collider on that. Collider. Change that to platform. Stop the sprite. Duplicate that. Control D and then place it on the bottom. So now the player will die on collision with the top or
Mm-hmm.
bottom.
Yeah.
So we have to code that now. Make sure that the player has physics enabled. He does not have physics enabled for some reason. So I'll have to enable that. So now we have to do it on physics. So void on collision enter 2D. We check if it's a platform. So if the collision information, collision, and then we select the collider. So the object we collided with, we check if that is platform. In that case, we have some game over logic here. Let's just game over logic. Uh,
Mhm.
yes. The issue is if, if we destroy the player, then
Mhm.
this script here, the camera movement, um, will try to use the position and will not find it and will get an error. So we need to instead here when we do this to check if the player still exists. So we say if that player transform is different than null, so if it exists. And the same for the destroy collider. That way we don't get an error. So now we can
Mm.
have in our player script.
Wow.
Um, we have to make.
Uh,
Let's have some visual effect here. Yes.
Llama, 1 second. Nena, estoy en como una, I'm in a, kind of like a Unity lesson with somebody. So, no, it's okay. I was just letting you know, bro. All right. Okay, I'll see you when you get here. Bye, man. Sorry, that was my daughter.
Oh, no problem.
Sorry about that, man.
No, no problem. So let's see. We want some visual effect here when the player dies. Let's call it that effect here. We have already did some stuff, some animations. Uh, so in that case, we need the animator component to animate it. So I'll create an animator controller again, which will be that effect. Now we can go to our player, add that. Oh, sorry, not to the player, the effect. Add that. You can open the animation, new that effect. Add those sprites. So we have this. Let's make it bigger, something like that. Test one more time. Yep, looks okay. But let's add destroy it after it finishes. So we'll add an event in that, and it doesn't work because we forgot what destroy object script. Let's try it one more time. So we destroy it at the end. We can save it now as an effect in our folder, delete it from the scene, and then we'll add it as a variable to our player. So here we'll say uh, public game object that effect prefab. Then here on that we spawn it. So instantiate that effect prefab transform position, no rotation, and then we can destroy our player. So destroy this game object. Let's see if it works now in all cases.
Yeah.
Also, we should check if the score works, and then we should also lower the move speed because it's not playable. Yeah, so it does not work for some reason. Yes, I made a mistake. I forgot to add the effects to our player script. That one more time.
Oh, I see.
Oh, wait, but so from what I can see, um, the player got deleted and the camera as well for some reason. What?
Hmm.
But why did the camera get deleted? Because the camera is not the child of this. What is this? Background, that makes sense. Um, let's see, let's see. So where do we do this? Collision and okay, that's a weird error. Um, the camera does not get destroyed anywhere. I'm not sure why this. So the camera gets destroyed and then the player.
Oh, I
Let me
see.
try. Let me try and pause it. Yes, that's very weird because I paused it and you see the camera is destroyed, but the player isn't.
Yeah.
So why is that? Oh yes, of course. Oh, I see. Okay. Never mind. Yes, this
What
I
is it?
forgot to save this. I forgot to save these lines of code. I think that was
Um,
yes. I wrote it but forgot to save it. Nope, still the same problem. Okay, then we have to look at this camera first. Okay, I'm confused. I don't know what. So let's see. But why does the camera get destroyed? Because nowhere do I destroy the camera.
right.
So this is the camera movement. So if the player is different than all, then we just update the position. I have no idea why this is happening. Um, and the weird thing is, it gets destroyed. The camera gets destroyed before the player.
Hmm.
Yes. Okay, let's look at that camera one more time. Does that have a collider? No. Oh yes, we have these two platforms here. That might be an issue. Let me try disable those.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that could be it, right? That would make
Yeah,
sense too, actually.
yes, that is the issue. But the question is why?
Maybe the camera is being destroyed because it's reaching the platform, of course, on the bottom
Oh
and top.
yeah. That's the issue is that this collides with the camera collider, the one that destroys platforms that is outside the view. So we have to change
Yeah.
this a little bit. We have to rename it to let's call it limit platform. Um, change that to limit platform here, and then when we collide here and uh, uh, destroy the player, check for that as well. So if it is platform or limit platform, so that way the limit platform does not interact with the collider that destroys platforms. Yeah, that was the issue. And I think if this works, we'll stop for today.
All right.
Oh,
Ah, poor guy.
there's another issue actually. Uh,
Poor.
the player has the background as a child, and we want to deparent this background when the player dies.
Okay.
So
So
in our
this
player
dies here.
so here we say a public game object, not the game object transform background transform, and then here uh, we deparent that. So we say background transform parent is null, so no parent. because the background gets destroyed with the player.
All right.
Also,
Score it also.
the score does not get updated. Okay, let's try it one more time. Yep, now it works. Now it's level, but we have the same issue that we had with have the same issue that we had with the camera, which is this background being a child of the player moves both horizontally and vertically. We don't want this, I think. Yes, we don't want this. So we have to change that as well. So we'll depend this background. Uh, make a script for it. Oh, already we have a script, right? So here in the background script, save the player transform public. And then I just copy this line of code to background. Just move it. Oh, so that way it will follow the player, but only on the x-axis.
Okay.
Oh, oh yes, my bad. Forgot to add the player transform here to the script. That one of them. Yep, now it works correctly. So that it is playable, but without some effects. Yep. So I guess we'll stop for today. Uh, what do you think? Was this useful for you? Or?
It was nice watching you, man, but I can't do that yet.
Yeah, but
Um,
does it make sense, like the thought process? So create the elements and then you use the elements to make the game. So we
um,
made the background, the player, the platforms, the game manager, stuff like that. So you have to identify the elements and create them, and then you can work with those elements. That's the idea.
right. So I would probably need to practice more on like just learning very small, like you started out with a square or something.
Yeah. Okay. If you want, I can
But
send you this project, but I don't know if it helps you with
yeah,
anything.
and I'll see if I can kind of look through it and see if I can figure it out.
Okay then, but you'll have to get the exact version that I sent you.
Okay, I got you.
Okay then. Uh,
I appreciate it.
sure, no problem. I shall see you another time. You let me
All
know.
right,
You
thank
let
you,
me know
man.
if you need anything. Okay.
All right,
All right, see you.
see you.